Hey VC, this is Harvey of Spin the Black Circle and welcome to Friday Night Vinyl. Here we are at the weekend. Hope everyone is well, doing good things, has some good plans in these dangerous and tumultuous times. This is a response video to two uploads by vinyldale or Return to Vinyl. And this is a level set. I'm not here to criticize vinyldale or his channel or anybody else, but I just want to level set on three things in the VC. The first is purpose. What are we here for in the VC? The second is values. Why do they matter in the VC? The third is intent on the uploads that we decide to put out there. So on purpose, let's just level set on that. We are here because we are slightly obsessive, some would say freaky and very strange people who not only love music and collect lots of it, but we use this strange archaic 12-inch format. And I would say that the vast majority of people are here not to be celebrities or make a living. Some people do make a living. They are here for connection because it's good to talk to people who are equally or similarly obsessed with this hobby and share a similar perspective on this hobby to you. So generally speaking, whereas people have disagreements, that should on purpose lead us to a place where generally we're nice to each other and value and really enjoy the connection. So that's purpose. And let's not lose sight of that. And I think the more negative the video is, it's either actively criticizing either a person in the VC or a point of view, then the more it moves us away from that purpose of enjoying the hobby. So that's purpose. The second is values, and I think we've got to remember this just as adults in the world at the minute, given how much is going on and how much negativity. All those things our parents told us about, don't say anything about someone unless you've got something nice to say, and don't do onto anybody anything that you wouldn't have done to you. All of those simple platitude values, they just matter for adults, right? These are the values that I think we want to just live by as human beings. And again, do we want in the VC the sense that there's this kind of undercurrent of badness, a bit like the goo from Ghostbusters 2, the green goo that if you've seen Ghostbusters 2, which is a pale imitation of Ghostbusters 1, this green goo runs through the sewers of New York City and it creates bad vibes. So I'm not being mystical when I say the more bad vibes you create, then they permeate and get worse and worse and just spoil the atmosphere of the VC. So that's values, but just common sense values that I think are becoming perhaps not fashionable in some parts of the world. Let me just leave that there. And the third is intent. So when we upload anything, what is the intent? So the intent of this video is not to criticize vinyldale or anybody else. As I said, it's not to talk down on his channel, but my intent is to kind of raise the bar and take us back to these core things of we love music, we love this format. It's really positive to share music and share ideas and see everyone's different styles and see a bit who they are. And it's nice to do that in line with the values I discussed earlier. But the intent of a video surely should either be to share more about this hobby or to have a point of view on something, even if it's a difference of opinion on something that has a positive intent that something good comes out of that. Or it's about something really interesting like being somewhere like a record fair or a VC event or you're overseas visiting record shops that other people haven't seen because they're not from that country, and something that actually takes us forward a little bit in this hobby as human beings is surely the intent of uploading videos. It is disappointing if the intent is negativity or badness, I have to say it, and dragging down either the personality of another VC member or what they're doing as a VC member, unless of course it is something that is horrendous that they deserve to be criticized for. If the people are perpetrating things that involve racism or sexism or anything that is about a protected characteristic of an individual, then of course I think as a VC community we might, if YouTube doesn't ban that member, we'd probably have something to say. But if it's disagreeing with an opinion, fine. But if it's actively pursuing dragging down someone else or feeding into negativity, I might get us lots of likes and views, but is that a good intent of a VC upload? For example, I posted an upload a few months ago about Pink Floyd's At Pompey, and I deliberately put a clickbait thing which said something like, I can't remember because I haven't got it in front of me, but this album is awful. And I'll admit that was clickbait. That was literally clickbait, because I wanted people to view that video and see what it did to the clicks. But it felt dreadful, because when people watched the video, I was talking positively about At Pompey. So rightly so, and I deserved to get lots of criticism for that clickbait, when actually I was talking positively about that vinyl release. And that felt really bad to me. It was like the goo from Ghostbusters, because it dragged down the vibes and the atmosphere of what I was actually doing in that video, which was talking positively about a Pink Floyd re-release. So that's intent. Question that intent before you make an upload. Is it going to add something to this spinning rock and this tiny bit of the spinning rock in the VC on YouTube, or is there bad intent behind it? If it's the latter, why am I doing this? Should I go for a run instead? Should I go for a nice meal with my wife? Should I just not post videos for a few months? So, where have we been, right? The purpose of the VC is for us to connect, surely, in some form. Common values of human decency matter to us in the VC, I would think or hope. And when we post, do we do so with clear intent to do something that's helpful to the VC or someone, or of interest to someone, as opposed to badness or ill feeling or wrongdoing? And if it's the latter, maybe we should take a step back and not post that day. I have bad days at work too, where I might post the odd comment on YouTube that I think really should have said that, but hopefully that's less and less for me. Anyway, I thought I'd finish with 3 albums that both are in line with the purpose of the VC, in line with our values, and the intent is to show some great new music. So 3 albums that I bought recently that I'm really excited about. A pristine copy of Cloud 9 by The Temptations from 1969. You don't often see UK Motown pressings in tip-on jack and in greater condition of this. Both the sleeve and the vinyl is immaculate. Great Norman Whitfield soul album. So that is immense, and I've really enjoyed that. And this is quite striking, actually. I wonder if all of the Cure original pressings, Fiction Records pressing, are as good as this, because the unfortunate fact for me is that I've got Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me by the Cure on this original pressing just the other week. But when I compare this to the Robert Smith reissues of some of the other Cure albums, this sounds like it's much, much more dynamic. And I'm worried now that those pressings that I have of 17 Seconds and Head on the Door and Disintegration are actually a pale imitation of what the original pressings might sound like. So do I need now to to go and buy all of the original Cure pressings because of how good this is? And have I mistakenly bought the Robert Smith reissues? Comment on that, please, if you have original Fiction pressings of Cure albums versus the Robert Smith remasters. And then a recent reissue of a great second LP by the Counting Crows, Recovering the Satellites. This is the 33 RPM cut from 1/4 inch original master tapes of Recovering the Satellites. I think it's a US pressing double album. Absolutely amazing. The first 2 Counting Crows albums are the ones to have, August and Everything After and Recovering the Satellites. So super thrilled to have this on reissue, and it sounds immense from the original, I think, analog master tapes, but I'm not sure. Anyway, there you go. Increase the peace, everybody, in more ways than one. Hope that was useful. Hope everyone, including vinyldale, takes that in the spirit it was intended. Let's get back to talking about music. Have a good weekend, and bye.